What if I told you a jar of pickles could outlive your children and still taste fresh? We've all been taught to trust expiration dates, but the Amish have mastered a different way. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we'll uncover 10 astonishing methods that could change the way you think about food forever.
Method number 1 is the classic, the king, water bath canning. We freak out if our fridge dies, but the Amish just head to their pantry, which is basically a giant wall of edible trophies.
They take the freshest harvest, pack it tight in sterilized jars, and boil it. That heat kills everything, and the rapid cooling creates a vacuum seal. Once that lid pings, that food enters time travel mode.
My grandma looked at me like I had two heads when I didn't know the difference between a hot pack and a raw pack. This isn't just about food storage. It's an art form that guarantees food security for years.
Next, get ready for the weird one. The genius of necessity, ash storage. They're not preserving eggs in a fridge. They're turning fire remnants into a preservation tool.
The secret is alkalinity. Ash, specifically from hardwood, is highly alkaline. This environment is perfect for shutting down mold and all the bacteria that cause spoilage. For eggs, they carefully layer them in jars or crocks, surrounding each one with the cool, dry ash. The high pH of the ash literally seals the pores of the eggshell, locking out air and moisture that cause decay.
It's so effective, they can keep fresh, edible eggs for over 6 months without needing a single kilowatt of electricity. This is true zero-energy preservation, mastered over generations.
Imagine never panicking about a power outage again. This old wisdom is more reliable than any modern appliance. Next, a method that is pure decadent survival. Fat sealing, sometimes called confit. This is how the Amish lock down their slow-cooked meats, from pork to goose.
The process starts with a thorough cooking, and then the meat is completely submerged in rendered fat, like lard or tallow. When the fat cools, it solidifies, forming a thick, non-porous seal around the food. Why does this work? It's all about blocking oxygen. Fat is a natural airtight barrier. No air means no microbial life. The meat is sealed in its own cooking medium, preserving its flavor and texture perfectly for 6 months or more. This isn't just preservation, it's flavor enhancement. The meat continues to cure slightly within the rich fat, giving it a depth of flavor that a freezer can never match. It's their equivalent of a culinary safe deposit box. A jar of meat ready to eat anytime with no energy cost. It completely redefines long-term storage. By the way, which of the first 3 methods, canning, ash, or fat, has been the most fascinating so far? Let me know quickly in the comments. Method number 4 is a complete change in strategy. Salting and fermentation. This isn't just making pickles. It's a microbial battle where good microbes make the environment utterly unbearable for the bad ones. Using only pure water and salt, the Amish simply create the perfect conditions for that lactic acid is what gives pickles their tangy flavor. When the environment's pH drops below 4.6, virtually no spoilage bacteria can survive. This creates an acidic fortress that seals the food for years. Beyond preservation, this method transforms the food into a natural pharmacy. Fermentation makes digestion easier and loads the food with probiotics. It's a double win for both survival and health. So they don't just preserve food, they upgrade it. This skill is more than storage. It's a lifestyle for better nourishment.
Method number 5 reverts to one of the oldest known techniques, salt curing and dehydration. When the Amish want to preserve red meat, like bacon, or fish for the long term, they deploy salt as a chemical weapon.
Salt performs 2 crucial tasks. First, it draws out all the moisture from the meat, creating a dry, uninhabitable environment for bacteria. Second, it creates an extremely high saline environment that no living microorganism After several days, the meat transforms into a hard slab, which can then be washed and hung in a cool place to dry. This is a 100% natural process that keeps bacon and fish completely safe and edible for 9 months to a year.
They don't rely on salt alone. Sugar and spices are often added to deepen the flavor and slightly tenderize the texture. This method preserves the food's quality and flavor without smoking or freezing.
These are simple methods proving that by relying on ancient wisdom, we can overcome our dependence on expensive machinery. Our final traditional method, mostly used for fruits, sugar curing or preservation in sugar. Here, sugar plays the role of salt, becoming a completely natural preservative.
The mechanism is exactly like salt. Osmosis. Sugar aggressively draws water out of the fruit's tissue and, just as importantly, out of any microbes trying to grow there. When the sugar concentration hits over 60%, no microbe can survive. This not only guarantees the shelf life of jam or jelly, but seals the fruit's summer flavor for years. The Amish often store these items at room temperature, relying only on a strong jar seal and the osmotic power of the sugar. This allows them to enjoy the heavenly bounty of summer throughout the long winter.
Biggest secret for overcoming the lack of energy access. Method number 7 is a simple masterpiece.
And now, the big secret. This final method requires 0 preservatives, no fat, salt, or acid needed. They use the absolute power of the earth to store their food.
The Amish build an underground cold storage, or root cellar. This structure utilizes the Earth's constant temperature. It doesn't heat up in the summer, and it stays cool in the winter. This cellar creates an ideal environment for canned goods, fruit, root vegetables, and even cheese. High humidity prevents produce from drying out, and the constant temperature, around 4 to 7 degrees Celsius, halts spoilage.
This simplicity and efficiency are a masterpiece. They save millions on refrigeration equipment and instead use the free, perpetual energy of the earth. This method is the true symbol of self-sufficiency. Having covered these 7 methods, we now reach the final stage, the huge lesson this ancient wisdom holds for our modern lives.
All 7 of these methods share a single lesson: simplicity and non-reliance. The Amish prove that true food independence requires not complex tools, but wisdom, organization, and hard work.
Today, our reliance on the power grid and the supply chain makes us vulnerable. The Amish wisdom shows that real independence starts in the kitchen and the root cellar and leads to financial and energy freedom.
This isn't just about preserving food. It's about shifting your mindset from a mere consumer to a self-sufficient producer. Choosing slow, simple methods is fundamentally a way of life.
No matter where you live, you can start this journey by fermenting a jar of pickles or growing a few herbs. Never underestimate the power of simplicity. Like and subscribe to discover more ancient wisdom.